It's obvious that we are not reaching all sectors of children and young people that are at risk of child sexual exploitation. That's reflected in representation or underrepresentation of particular groups within our caseloads and within services nationally. It's not a localised issue, it's a national issue. So if you accept that, what you need to go on to do is to make sure that you remain as open-minded as possible and are looking at every single individual and really analysing what's happening with them, what might be the vulnerability factors within their environment, and then how you respond to them, and the most appropriate and best service to refer them to, because we can't all be specialists. We don't all have the absolute depth of knowledge we need in every single field. So using the specialists out there, using the support of dedicated organisations that actually really have that focus.
You know, I go into schools and I work with young people, and we have a number of young people with learning disabilities in schools that want to develop and flourish with their peers. And I think one of the things that's not recognised is that, you know, they will have the same wants and needs as other young people. Young people with learning disabilities, you know, they want to be with their friends, they want to be on social media, they will have their phones, they will talk about boys. And one of the things that teachers and other professionals have to acknowledge, and parents, is that they're going to want to live a normal life. They want to grow up. They're in mainstream school, so they're going to experience some of the things that their friends experience.
In relation to children and young people who have identified themselves as gay but are not, or lesbian, and they're not confident or in a position to come out, so they may hide their relationship, which means that as a professional, when you're working with them, you might not have that knowledge, even though it's part of their life and their environment. But you need to consider that, and then you need to consider what kind of questions and what communication you have with them and who you then refer them to. It's critical that as agencies we apply the same rigour to looking at relationships and assessing those imbalances of power and the appropriateness of those relationships, no matter what young person that we're working with and what their living experience is.
So in terms of sexual exploitation, it's important really for people to be aware of any kind of changes in behaviour of children and young people. They may suddenly become secretive, they may have been an A-star student but they're now not. You just might have a feeling that something's going on in their lives. So that might be a teacher, it might be a mum or a dad, it might be a carer, it could be a youth worker, anyone really that's in contact with those children and young people. If you think that something is wrong, then try to find out what that might be. It might not be sexual exploitation, but there could be something going on in that child's life that somebody needs to know about, so that child can get appropriate support.